everybody. This video is all about tone and horn tone and getting the best tone on the horn. So, the secret to having a great sound on the horn is, are you ready? A pure buzz. That's it. A pure buzz. The horn, if you think about it, is just going to amplify whatever you've got coming out of the mouthpiece and what's going on right here. So when we think about good tone, the first thing that we have to deal with is what we're putting into the mouthpiece, since that's where all the action is. There's basically two things. One of them is a strong, solid airstream and a strong, solid buzz. Those two things put together are going to be the foundation and the fundamentals of having great horn tone. So I want you to think about a recipe. Maybe a cake, maybe some cupcakes, something. Think about the recipe that goes into what it is that you're making. It contains basic food elements, right? Like eggs, flour, butter, sugar, real simple, basic food elements. So you have to put those things together and mix it just the right balance of each. You have to follow the recipe. Because if you have too much of any one ingredient, the result will be off balanced and you'll have a problem. So think of it that way when we play the horn. There's a basic recipe for good horn sound and good horn tone. So what is that recipe? Well, in my opinion, there's quite an average list. It's not terribly long. A lot of it we don't even think about. But it's a very simple list. So it's not a very complicated recipe for good horn tone. You just have to work on all the individual parts. So number one, air that is open and strong. That's the first item in your recipe. Air that's moving through an open aperture. That's number two. All of this works together and must be supported by a solid embouchure, which is the musculature to support the aperture to produce that pure buzz. Those are the first four ingredients that go in. The second four ingredients are the mouthpiece relationship, which means how you have your mouthpiece on your face. It's got to be in just the right spot, hopefully not off-centered, not too low. We want it a little higher, so that mouthpiece relationship to your face, the tongue placement within the mouthpiece, and your basic setup of how the mouthpiece works together with the air, the aperture, and the embouchure. Okay, so a few other things that sometimes we don't always think about that are very important. Remember, we're talking about the overall basic horn sound is good right hand position, and that's what's going on over here. So just real quick and fast, cup your hand like you're holding water. Bring your thumb up just a little bit so nothing leaks out of your hand that's cupping water. Make your fingers nice and straight, and you're going to want to put that in your bell. Here's my bell. I'm going to put it about 2 o'clock. So if this is 12 o'clock, my hand's going to go on the opposite side about 2 o'clock, and then I'm going to drop my horn down, whether it's on my leg or off my leg. My right hand stays in this position. If it's too closed and too far in, your sound is going to be really stuffy and covered and flat. If it's too far out and you've got your hand way out here, your pitch is going to be sharp and your sound's going to be too bright and too abrasive. We've got to find that happy medium. We also have to have good posture. So back to our recipe. Good right hand position, good posture. The horn comes to us and everything is very relaxed. And the last item that I have on my recipe for good horn tone is good equipment. So think about if you're making a cake and you've got some old cookware, it still works. Pots, pans, things like that, cake pans, they can still work okay, but they're not the best. You can still have really good horn tone on decent equipment. You don't have to have the fanciest horn, the fanciest mouthpiece. It has to function. But if there are holes, broken soldering, your valves get stuck, or God forbid, something stuck in the horn itself, then you're going to have a problem. So you can still, make your great cake and your great cupcakes with your old equipment as long as it serves its basic purpose. And its basic purpose is to allow for all of the other items in the recipe, that air, right hand position, a mouthpiece that's able to go in, a good mouthpiece that doesn't have dents on the shank. All of your equipment basically working together to serve the purpose so that your good horn sound can come out. So we put all of this together with the right balance and we're going to have great horn tone. So real quick, let's talk about how you can practice that. You go through the recipe that I've listed here, check off all of those items, and then we actually have to apply it to the instrument. So my number one very favorite way to practice good horn tone is to get my free buzz, which is the buzz, the pure buzz without any equipment at all, sounding really good and strong and solid. And this goes back to several times I've mentioned in all of my videos for you about spitting a seed. So I'm going to get I've even talked about having the perfect diamond shape and the good setup. I'm going to have my embouchure in an M, P, and I want my buzz to be nice and open and pure. I spend between 4 and 5 minutes, sometimes a little longer, sometimes a little shorter, just free buzzing. What do I free buzz? Sometimes just simple notes like that. Sometimes I do simple arpeggios. I'll find a note like middle C. And I'll start adding notes around it. I might go up a half step, I might go down a half step. I'm basically working on the purity of that buzz. Then I'm going to move that concept to the mouthpiece. I'm going to make sure that my sound isn't choked off. I've got that good air. I've got a really nice aperture. My tongue isn't in the way. All of the things that go on and amplify through the horn are happening really well right here. This is where you get the best horn sound. If it doesn't sound good on the mouthpiece, it's not going to sound good on the horn. The horn has an amazing ability to mask problems and issues, technical problems that we might be having that maybe we don't even know about. The best way to find out how to get it better is to take away the horn and just deal with the mouthpiece. Look back to the ingredients of your recipe. Is everything the right balance? So is my mouthpiece where it needs to be? Is there too much pressure? Is there enough pressure? Do I have it centered? What's going on the inside of my mouth? All sorts of things can contribute to that basic first few items on your recipe. Spend a lot of time free buzzing to build the strength to support a pure buzz on the mouthpiece. Once you feel pretty good about the mouthpiece buzzing, then you move the fundamentals to the horn. There's nothing fancy here. Once again, I always go back to those simple, basic ingredients. Air, buzz. Air and buzz. It all comes back to the buzzing and the air. So I use things like long tones and scales, very basic lip slurs. You can spend a lot of time getting some really amazing horn sound developed in a simple C major scale. See if you can buzz your scales accurately on the mouthpiece and try to really have a nice big pure buzz. All of that will apply to the horn really well, and I think that you'll find that the playing on the instrument, in fact I'm sure of it, the playing on the instrument will sound so much better. You have to be able to buzz everything that you would like to play on the horn. You'll find great success. If you would like to email me and ask any questions, I would love to hear from you. Shoot me emails, send me some videos, send me sound files. Let me know how these things are working out for you. If you'd like to have any follow-up or any assistance with anything, I'd love to check in and see how it's all working out for you.